Hello guys and welcome back. It's me Callum here. I'm here with Heggie and welcome back to another episode of the Prem Review Show. Of course we are going to review game week 8's games. There's only 7 games this week, obviously for circumstances I'm sure you're aware of. Of course, don't forget to check out our TikTok, the Flat Chat. It's doing quite well at the moment. We'd like to say thanks to Scotty Parker. If you know, you know. And of course, if you've got any any ideas for us, seeing as the international break is coming up, leave in the comments as well. That'd be great. But anyway, on to game week 8. Bit weird saying that, seeing as we missed game week 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, first game, of course, was one of the Friday night games. There was 2 games on the Friday.
We'll start with the smelly game.
The game that Jeff Stelling called smelly, yes, that was Aston Villa Southampton.
Yeah.
What did you expect from this game, Heggie?
I thought it was going to be a draw.
Yeah.
I think Southampton have looked pretty good. They've got a lot of good players. But Villa needed a result like this.
Yeah, of course.
These are the teams that have to beat if they want Gerrard to keep his job.
Yeah.
But, scrappy game. They've come out with a 1-0 result. They must be fairly happy here.
Well, of course they're going to be happy.
Southampton is a direct competitor to Villa now.
I reckon they're both going to be occupying similar positions at the end of the season, won't they?
Between maybe 13th and 16th, around that
Yeah,
area.
really could get relegated.
Yeah.
Villa were under a lot of threat at the start of the season. I think they've got over that a wee bit with this win, and obviously the result at Man City.
Yeah.
That's a really big one. But no, I think overall, I think they actually probably should have won this game. I think Southampton were poor, to be honest. Southampton, you're either going to get them and they're going to be excellent. They're going to control the game. Ward-Prowse is going to take a foothold in the game. He's going to be excellent, run the game. I think that boy Kotchap as well, good centre half. They've got some good players, Southampton, and so did Villa.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, it's just if you can catch either of these teams hot or cold. And in this game, it seemed to be you probably caught them both cold, but Villa were the better of the two.
I think the issue with Southampton is they do have good players, but when they've got injuries, it looks really bad. Mm-hmm. Like they had Lavie out, it was a big miss because they don't play anywhere near as good when he's not playing.
Yeah, he's a new signing, obviously.
Yeah, but it's the problem they'll have this season is injuries. I think if they're all fit, they look a top 10 team.
Yeah,
but they do look really good.
I think that even though they lost to Man United a few weeks ago, they were the better side.
Yeah,
let's be honest here, they were the better side. But no, for this game, I think Southampton, they'll be irritated, but they were an away team. I don't know if they were going there expecting to win. Maybe with the pressure that Villa were under, you'd maybe expect something more from the game. But from the actual game as a whole, there was one clear-cut chance, and of course it was scored. Yeah. So the game was a bit dull, and on that note we're probably better off moving on now to a game that was completely different to what we've just described the Villa and Southampton game to be, and that is of course Fulham and Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, of course, the home side, scoring 2 goals and Fulham scoring 3. Good game. What do you make of this one, Heggie?
I think the game went the way people expected it. Fulham dominating the ball and creating good chances, with all their goals coming in a really short period of time in the second half. But no, Fulham again impressing everyone. They will definitely be safe.
Yeah, I think we're now both in agreement now that that's definitely the case.
Me, you, Jacob were here on Friday night when it was happening, the game, and Jacob didn't seem to think they were safe yet from this result. Yeah, because I said to him, does this result secure their place in the Premier League for another year? He wasn't as convinced as me, but no, I don't see a world that they go down now. On the other hand, Forest could be in trouble because the opposite from the first game we discussed, these are the games they have to win and they didn't win.
Yeah, especially at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Against another potential relegation candidate.
Especially when they've took the lead as well.
Yeah.
But these are the games they have to grind out and win. They didn't dominate the ball. They created less chances than Fulham. Fulham just look a more complete team than Forest, and that's probably because they haven't got as many signings in. So they've gelled easier.
So I'm struggling now to scroll down to see more of the stats. Yeah. But Fulham did dominate the ball, as we can see there, and as you mentioned. But Forest were sucker punched. Yeah. Those 3 goals sucker punched them. And they just couldn't get themselves back on track. We were watching the end of the game. I was wanting a Forest goal. I had a prediction as a draw. Didn't quite go that way. I do quite like Forest as well, although I'll be honest. But no, I think Fulham are looking good. The other interesting thing is the fact that Mitrovic didn't score.
Yeah.
Brought him in my fantasy, doesn't score. They scored 3 goals as well, and he didn't even get an assist either. But no, Fulham look clearly the better side in this game. And I think with Forest, I think the problem is they were getting a lot of praise for bringing in as many players as they did. But I'm sure you've heard this several times. That's going to then take a lot of time for these players to gel.
Of course,
who's going to come in? Who's going to actually? Is the players you've already got there as well? Who's going to actually stay in the starting 11? I still think that I do not trust their backline. I don't trust the centre halves they've got. We know how we feel about McKenna, Scott McKenna. I'm not too big a fan of Joe Worrell, although we did see him make a really good challenge on Dan James.
Joe Worrell is not the standard that the Premier League is looking for. You have to have better defenders than Joe Worrell.
And the fact that he's alongside McKenna, who I think is worse.
And who's the other one? It's another dodge
Cook. Cook.
Who's been relegated as well from the
He's
Premier
probably
League
on the verge of being. I think he's the best of the 3 personally. I think he's on the verge of being a Premier League defender, but even that's not saying much, is it?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
if you're on the verge of being a Premier League defender, you're most likely going to go down, aren't you?
Yeah, it is 100% a Championship defence.
Yeah, and that's the biggest issue. They haven't brought in a real solid Premier League quality centre half with all the signings they've brought in.
They've conceded 17 goals.
Yeah,
that is not good enough.
No, of course it's not. And I do think that at this point, unless something drastic happens and it does change for them massively, I do see them going down still. I think they're actually more likely to go down at this point than Bournemouth, who I think everyone thinks are going to go down. But Bournemouth have had.
So they've had a good wee run so far.
Well, we move on to that game then, as we're just talking about. I know they're not the next game. I think
we'll move on to Newcastle.
We'll move on to Newcastle's game against Bournemouth, which was the 3 o'clock kick-off on the Saturday. Of course, there was a game played before that, but we'll move on to that one just a wee bit after.
I'll let you take the lead with this one, because I saw nothing from this game because I was at a wedding on Saturday.
Well, I mean, Newcastle-Bournemouth, the way everyone expected this game to go is, based off what we've seen of Newcastle at home this season, is complete dominance, other than maybe the City game, but they did play well in that game as well. Controlling the ball, having chances, but the big issue with Newcastle this season has been that they're not able to win games, not able to kill teams off, get those goals, and I don't know what that is, where that's coming from. Is it maybe the fact that I know Isaac's come in and started well, but having Cal Wilson's he works really well with the players around him.
Are they maybe not dealing with the pressure of being the fans?
Maybe because there's an almost an expectation there to not compete the top 6, but push into that top 10. Yeah, and then work from there. I think you might be right. I think there is a bit of pressure there. Because they are actually a quite good side. They're actually quite exciting to watch now, Newcastle.
Oh, they definitely are.
Yeah, but on the other hand, Bournemouth, who we can see didn't have much of the ball at all. They had 27% of the ball, which is not great in the Premier League. Unless you're maybe playing a Man City, it's more expected. But it just shows how good Newcastle are with the ball now and keeping on to the ball with the players like Bruno Guimaraes come back in this week. Is that even how you say his name?
Guimaraes, I
don't know.
I'm not Portuguese, so
exactly. But no, Bournemouth, that's 5 points from the last 3 games. That's not relegation form. I'm going to be honest. It's not relegation form, and a lot of us thought that would be the case. A good wee goal. I think it was Billing got on the end of a ball into the box. It was actually poor defending from Newcastle. I'm not sure who it is. It might be Shar or Botman. It's one of the two. I know it wasn't Byrne because the attack came from Newcastle's right hand side. The ball comes in and he just lets his man go. He doesn't know who's behind him. Maybe it's actually a bad shout and Dan Byrne doesn't tell him. Yeah. Because he can actually see who's behind him. And Billing just drifts into that area, gets a wee toe to it, and it goes in near post. Pope's left. He can't really do anything there with that one. But they do get an equaliser, of course, through a penalty. Harsh penalty, but I think it was the right decision.
Is that one that's not overturned if they don't give it?
Oh, I think it still gets overturned. Yeah. Well, no, but they didn't get the penalty. I think VAR gave the penalty. The ball's coming in from the box. I think it's Trippier puts the ball across the box, and the player's got his hand down by his side, but he's kind of on the turn, and it then hits his hand, and the ball is going straight into the box, and it gets stopped. It's stopped. It's really harsh. You're hating that if you're a Bournemouth fan, but
you're loving it if you're a Newcastle
of course.
fan.
But at the same time, I think if you're a neutral, those are the kind of decisions you expect to be a penalty.
Right.
If I'm honest. So they did get an equaliser, but it's honestly for Newcastle they've got to
start winning these games.
Yeah, they really do, because that's put them into 10th position, which is what they want. But from how they performed, I think they should expect better.
They've got 5 draws out of 7 games. It's just...
I mean, it's not bad. They're seeming like the Palace of last year.
Yeah.
Too many draws, because they're a good side, defensively set up well. I know I said that they were pretty poor for the goal they conceded, but yeah. Anyway, on to another game, which before the game was getting talked about as the best team attacking-wise in the league, and the best team with the team with the best defensive record in Wolves. And obviously Man City, yeah.
Wolves were just caught sleeping at the start of this.
They were, and then
yeah,
they had that narrative all the way through when I was listening to it in Talk Sport, and then a minute into the game they concede, and I'm like, well, this game is going to go completely different to how I saw it and how a lot of people saw this game going, and then it doesn't help when Haaland gets another goal. The
first goal was just so easy. It was actually a bit embarrassing from Wolves how they come out at the start of the game, 50 seconds into the game, and there's a ball just coming across the box and no one's dealing with it. It's just rookie stuff. And then Haaland scores a really good goal. Can't really say anything about it. Then the red card happens.
Shocking.
A terrible tackle.
Shocking. I mean, it's he's not meant to or anything like that. It's unfortunate that just Grealish is there, but it's a kung fu kick.
Yeah. But Man City were dominant until that point. Then the red card changed it. Wolves started to play better. I don't know what the stats are, but I think Wolves must have had a fair chunk of the ball
in the second half. Anyway,
40% with 10 men. That's quite high against City.
It was higher in the first half.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
But now Man City just were playing in second gear the second half. It was just easy for them. There's not much we can really talk about in this game other than the red card, which was a shocker.
It was a shocker. I think also with Man City, we're saying they were playing in second gear in the second half. But I would imagine if Wolves get a goal,
if they just ramped it up.
They ramped it up, and they sure would, and they won that game 4 or 5-1. So maybe keeping it at 3-0 actually works in the Wolves' favour, maybe. I think that may be a silly thing to say, but it's just the way I see it. Haaland's goal.
Very good. Weak foot
on the turn. He scuffs it, but it's got enough power in it to bobble in past the keeper. It's just strong and powerful. Just the turn. You've got it's the fear factor of you can see the Wolves player's face. He's scurrying back to his goal.
It showed him on his left foot as well. Haaland didn't even bother going on the left foot. He went on his right foot.
He didn't at all. He had another effort, I'm pretty sure, in the second half where he did the same thing. It's just like, why not? If you're going to let me shoot, I'll shoot then.
Would you be annoyed if you were Haaland here coming away with 1 goal against 10 men for so long?
No, I don't think so. I think he knows who he's up against. This team are set up defensively well.
He seemed a little agitated though in the second half. Like he was really moaning at teammates at certain points. Like Cole Palmer come on.
I'm gonna be honest.
He was really moaning at him, telling him, "Give me the ball earlier." I think Haaland is a bit annoyed. I think he's trying to break this record.
I think he is trying to break the record, but he's getting another goal. If he didn't score, I'd understand more. But I think it's just that's Haaland's character. I've told you this time and time again.
It's Zlatan 2.0.
It is. He is. He's got that sort of attitude. Like, I am the best, and you can't blame him at the moment, can you? He's doing everything right. He's on 11 goals, is it? 11?
11 from 7 now. Yeah, 11 from
11 from 7 games. So I mean, he's doing the business. We've talked about this we've talked about this in one of our TikToks. But how many goals do you reckon he gets this season?
I think I said 35.
I think you did, yeah. And I think a big reason for that is I don't think he will play every game. I know he's played every game so far, but the games are going to start coming even faster than they are already. I do see him missing out on a few games in the Premier League.
I personally think if he misses any games, it will be all of the cups. I think he's going to play every Premier League. Do
you think? Yeah. Is that based? Well, is he playing the Champions League games at the moment?
He has been.
He's played both, hasn't he?
But they might just win their first 3 and then just rest them.
Yeah. With the way Haaland plays and the way Man City plays, does he actually need much of a rest? He's not running about like a madman.
He's not told to press so much either. He's just up there doing the business, putting the ball in the net, and that's all they need really from him.
Yeah, he's great. And I know this is not Premier League, but his goal against Dortmund was just excellent. And then in his interview afterwards, and by the way, that was Zlatan-esque. I know that Pep tried to compare it to Cruyff, but I think it's just because of the wee animosity between him and Zlatan. But no, that was excellent. And then in his interview afterwards, They talked about how were Dortmund able to stop you from defending because obviously stop you from scoring because
They played with you.
Yeah. And he goes, "It didn't stop me from scoring." He's great in an interview, just so blunt. But no, I think we'll move on to the next game of that. On to Spurs.
Yes.
Which was the 5:30 kickoff, and I think the big story with this one has to be about Heung-min Son.
Yeah.
Heung-min Son, of course, plays his first 6 games, no goals. He's getting dropped.
Talks of a finished player. Is this the end for Spurs? For Son? Scores 2 ridiculous goals.
And then tops it off with his hat trick, which could have been offside, but VAR gave him the hat trick, and it was onside at the end of the day. So that silences everyone, and there was quite a few folk that brought him in fantasy predicting this. I wish I were one of those guys, because unfortunately I went for the Bowen instead.
Bit stinky.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
You could Dyer though.
I do have Dyer in my fantasy team, to be fair. But no, Spurs started this game off. What did you make of this? You did watch the game.
Well, they got conceded a penalty in the first 10 minutes. It was a terrible tackle for Sanchez. So stupid. That might be the harshest penalty save retake I've ever seen. He was millimetres off his line.
I know.
And
I think it's because he jumps out the way.
Yeah.
But when you actually see him take the penalty, his foot's on the line. What's the rule?
No, it's like if your foot's off the line when they hit the ball.
But both feet? But why can you have one foot on the line?
Yeah, that's the rule. You're allowed one foot on the line.
Because one foot was on the line.
No, it wasn't. It was millimetres off the line. Literally millimetres, and they've told him to retake it.
I think they've made him do that because he's jumped out so far. They've then decided to do that. I don't think it's about they weren't getting the ruler out. I think honestly, it's so stupid. Happened. I know that. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, but conceded the goal, ran out the park, scored straight away with a header.
Kane, yeah.
And then it was pretty much a one-way street from there.
Madison did get a goal though.
Yeah, it was a good goal.
It was a very good goal.
Yeah.
And you thought at this point, Spurs fans were leaving the stadium.
Yeah.
They were phoning up TalkSport again. I was listening to TalkSport, complaining about.
I couldn't understand this.
It's defending. There was talks of I just misled Lee King. It's like, well, you had Toby Alderweireld and Vertonghen. They were great centre halves. Let's be honest here. Romero's not bad.
I don't understand where this is coming from Tottenham. They've been very good. They've had one dodgy performance in Europe. They've been really good every other week, other than the Chelsea game maybe, but they still got a draw. Yeah. I think this is silly.
It is a wee bit silly. I think a lot of it comes from they don't like the style of play they're playing. They think they're quite boring.
Well, if you look at the stats, they only had 43%.
Exactly, and this is at home against a poor Leicester side that we did say that would come and try and play.
Yeah,
we did say that.
But would you rather win the game 6-2 and only have 40% of the ball, or draw it 1 each, playing a bit more expensive?
Of course, rather win the game, but it's because this is happening every week. We're making a theme of it. This is very much like it was the argument of. Would you rather be... Obviously, this is quite silly because you're going to take the trophies, aren't you? But the Jose Mourinho style of football back in the day compared to the Arsene Wenger style of play for Arsenal. And it's where Jose Mourinho was obviously... It's boring football, but it gets you trophies. There's nothing exciting about it. Arsene Wenger's football, very exciting, and it's a thrill to watch every week. But you're not going to get those trophies at the end of the year. It's what do you really prefer? And I think in this case, what Spurs need... They need trophies. Yeah. They don't need a show.
They need consistency, and Conte will bring that.
Yeah, I can understand people moaning about the style of play and stuff like that when you're winning things as frequently and as much as a Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I think we've listened to people talk about that before, Real Madrid fans. Yeah. Faisal, who's on the Sharky Does Sports channel, he talks about it. He's not impressed with Carlo Ancelotti's style of football because it's boring.
But the progression
you understand that.
Yeah, the progression is win trophies and then worry about the style after that.
Yeah, get your trophy. And honestly, with Conte, I don't know whether he's going to win a trophy this year or not. But they have the best chance they've had in years this season. And that includes the league. I know that Man City are in the league. I'm not even going to make a joke about Arsenal. I'm I'm going to be serious here and say that Man City are incredible. And if anyone's to beat them this season, from what I've seen so far, I know Spurs don't look as good as Arsenal, but with Conte as the manager, they probably have the best chance from what I've seen so far in terms of how they're getting results, not just how they're playing. But on that note, onto a side that have been looking very good, as I've just mentioned. That is Arsenal. We did watch this game, of course.
Just a dominant display.
Very dominant. Away side, and they just looked like the home side, didn't they?
Yep. It was easy.
It was easy at Brentford. I think they said in the commentary, there isn't any teams that come to Brentford and make it look as easy as they did.
Yeah.
You think about Liverpool last year, you think about Chelsea last year.
Man United this year,
Arsenal last year. This Arsenal side came there and absolutely bossed it.
It was 3 very good goals as well.
Very good goals.
Saliba's header, unbelievable.
Very good. He runs across 2 Brentford players, gets a nick on it, hits off the post, goes in. Of course, goal line technology helps them out there.
Jesus with his header.
But you were more impressed with one thing, weren't you?
The Xhaka pass.
The Xhaka pass.
The loft on that. He was my man of the match today.
He probably was my man of the match as well, Granit Xhaka. And you know what? I think we have to quickly talk about his turnaround of form. I think it has been for quite a while. He's been playing like this though, but we're really starting to notice it now when he's playing with better players in a better system that control games. He's less likely to get caught out because he plays further up the pitch. Partey, gonna be honest, he played well today, didn't he? Coming back in,
definitely, yeah,
played very well.
He was very good on the ball when there was players closing him down.
Yeah,
I think that's probably his best trait.
Yeah, I think so too. Another one, Saliba was very good at doing that as well. There's a lot of times where he's just, instead of booting it out back to his keeper, it's quick turns. Excellent. Ramsdale didn't worry me at all today, really.
Was there any players that you were worried about or not worried about that didn't impress you today?
No, not really.
No.
I think even Gabriel, who's probably been our weakest player this season, he looked good as well. Nothing really to do. Was commanding. I was a bit worried actually when he nearly looked like he was going to come off. I was thinking, what do we do now? Does Ben White move into centre back? Does Tomiyasu come on? I think Ben White was excellent against him. He was getting a lot of praise on Twitter and social media. Very techie. It was actually for the third goal, which we'll now move on to. The Vieira goal, it was excellent from Ben White. Overlapping run, absolutely bolting down the line, allowing Saka to come inside, plays a ball into Vieira. The space is opened up. He doesn't need to just shoot. He can find a pass. He's got a pass out of Martinelli. He can slip through Gabriel Jesus. But no, he completely. What would you say? Wrong foots the keeper.
Yeah. Wrong
foots the keeper. Yeah, for sure. And long shot, he calls for the near post. Excellent finish, and it's great for his full debut in the Premier League to get that goal. Because I thought we were really going to miss Martin Odegaard today, but
I think we did miss him.
I think we did in that position.
It was very evident Vieira is not as good as Odegaard
at doing what he does.
Yes, but he's an okay replacement for when Odegaard's not available,
and he has that extra thing where he's more likely to shoot than Odegaard. There's of course I'm saying there's obviously advantages of having a Vieira, just like there is of Odegaard. I think with Odegaard he does control the game and the tempo, but it didn't look like, from the way we played today, it didn't look like we actually really missed him in terms of how the game went. I think everyone else around those, I think Vieira was good. He didn't get onto the ball as much as Odegaard would, and I think both of them will improve. And probably learn from each other is what I'd like to see. I'd like Odegaard to get a lot of what Fabio Vieira has, and vice versa. A bit more direct, and Vieira to try and get himself more involved in
the build-up play.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, other than that,
and it's a big game next for Arsenal.
A very big game after the international break.
This could decide who will be top 4, but it's that level of a game.
Is it though?
But maybe not this early in the season. It's definitely if it's later on.
I think it's too early. I think honestly these two are both going to finish top 4.
Yeah,
I think it's these two and one of the others. I think it's probably still going to be Liverpool in my view, but of course we haven't seen them play for a wee while now in the league since the Everton game, of course.
If you beat Tottenham next week, will you entertain the title challenge debate? Because I know you haven't been recently saying no chance, still going to be Man City, but if you beat teams like Tottenham at home, surely you have to open your eyes to this.
No. I'm not saying Arsenal can't win the league. Of course I'm not saying that. I just think we are looking very good, but I still, from the Man United performance, I still know there is we do that. Sometimes we go back to this naive way where we get caught out. I think back to the Man United game, I think we're better than them in every way, just like we were today.
Would you class that as naive though?
I think it was. I think it was naive in how we tried to chase the game at the end with Arteta's substitutes. I think that was a little bit naive. But Arteta has been great. I don't know if we beat Spurs in 2 weeks' time, I think we're going to finish above Spurs. Fair. But I don't think we're going to finish above Man City. I think they are just a bit too good. I think you'd probably agree with that, wouldn't you?
Of course they are, but you'd have to be a fool to say Man City aren't clearly the best team in this league.
Yes, exactly.
But there has been crazy things happened in the Premier League before.
That's true.
Yeah.
But with that side like Man City in it? No.
No, of course not.
I wouldn't say so.
But there is, the standard of this league is higher than it's ever been. And some of the lesser teams may take points off City, but they also, on the flip side, take points off Arsenal.
But they haven't been, and that's probably why Arsenal have been different this season, because they haven't taken points. Brentford haven't taken points from them. Palace, Fulham, who have all taken points from the big boys, Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Villa took points from Man City. Arsenal are taking the points. The only little team that Arsenal have lost points to are the little Man United. We'll have to see how they do, to be honest. Of course, we do miss those guys playing this weekend, Liverpool, Chelsea. But two teams we did get to see, and the final game of the weekend was Jacob's Everton against West Ham.
Great result for Everton.
Big result. And is it the Goodison factor?
I think it is.
I think it is for sure. I think West Ham were knocking on the door. They should have got a goal. They should have got a goal. Bowen had a few chances. Cornet had a few chances as well. Probably he was most likely to score, would have been him. I don't think he started, but he did come on.
Yeah. Is that Mope's first goal for Everton? I think it might be.
Is it? Oh, well, he scored I think so. He scored the offside goal. Or no, Cody scored the goal, but it was Mope's assist. To be fair, Iwobi plays the ball in, so he takes a touch, and it's a nice touch. He doesn't kill the ball dead. He kind of flicks it up. His touch kind of flicks it up in the air, so he then volleys it, and it's a quick, sharp shot that goes in the near post and beats Fabianski. It's a good finish. I'm going to be honest, a really good finish. Everton are much better this season, and
Frank's made them solid with his signings. He's made. He's been very smart in this transfer window. I think other managers, other teams could look at Everton and say, this is actually the way that you probably should do it. Mm-hmm. They've shored up that defence really well. They've got a focal point up front that they needed because of how injury prone DCL was. They get the replacement for Richarlison, and Mope will do the job that Everton need as a second choice striker. But no, Frank Lampard getting the support he needs from the board. Everton fans really have to be happy here. They've only lost 2 games, and people really thought they were going to be whipping boys this season.
Mm. Oh, for sure. I think we all have them in and around the 15th to 17th spots, I'm pretty sure, don't we?
Yeah.
In our predictions.
It's West Ham that's in and amongst it.
It is. I still think West Ham have enough to get away from that area.
Of course
I
they do.
think they've got a strong enough squad. I think this Everton, it's just Everton. They made it really difficult for them today. They're very good defensively. I know they missed Pickford, but Begovic made some decent saves, and it didn't look like it was as much of a miss as we would have expected. I think Iwobi, got to mention him. Jacob would hate us if we didn't. He's been excellent again. And Mope, of course, we've mentioned already. He's working as well. He looks like he's working. It's a different sort of striker to Carl Walker-Lewin, but yeah, he's doing the job. Definitely. He's the kind of player that I would associate with Everton, the way they play.
But a rat.
Right. A wee bit, yeah.
Coming from an Arsenal fan.
He's nippy. He's arrogant, but he's dirty.
Confident.
He's confident. It's a lot of wee things. It's just nasty. It's that nastiness streak that if you're an Everton fan, you absolutely love, and I don't blame them. But I'm sure he'll rattle a few rival fans' cages this season.
He's definitely shushing an away supporter every one game.
Oh, for sure. If he scores against Arsenal, he's going to 2-foot the corner flag, isn't he? But that was Leno's leg. Or that wasn't it. That's what he'll be like. You know what he's like. And as I said, if you're an Everton fan, you absolutely love it. But yeah, that of course is our review of the 7 games of this season, this week in the Premier League. Of course, we did do our predictions. I don't think I did pretty well.
No, I don't think you did.
No. Did you get any correct scores?
Yes. I had 3-0 Man City.
3-0 Man City. I had 2-0 on that one.
Yeah.
I was a goal off. I think I was a goal off the correct result. Correct score in about 5 of the games, which is nuts. I picked up like 2 points from that.
Well,
not good.
1 off is just as good as 9 off.
You're correct.
You better get your card ready for McDonald's now.
No, don't worry.
I forgot Adam's in the table.
You gotta remember, Adam is in the table, and on that note, we'll just put the table in right now.
There's table not in the other one, the predictions.
I
saw it does.
What are you talking about? What's this guy talking about? The predictions table is on the screen now.
Yeah.
So you can see who's doing well. Jamie's still flying at the top. I think Jacob's actually taking a bit of a stride forward. I think he got a few correct results.
We need someone to catch Jamie.
We do. Someone will catch Jamie at some point. Well, someone will have a storm of a week and it'll be alright. Of course, there was only 7 games this week as well, so you're not expecting to get a massive point haul. But anyway, thank you very much for listening to our Premier League review. We will, as I said, comment down below if you've got any ideas for us as it's international break. Probably do some sort of draft involving different countries and things like that.
And our Defender Premier League video will be out this week as well.
That's true. Of course, we haven't even put out our goalkeeper version of that, have we yet?
No. But that'll be out in the next few days.
Yeah, so we've got...
I don't even know why I said Defender, because you don't even know about this idea.
Yeah, but you'll have to wait and see for that, if anyone's still listening at this point. But yeah, thank you very much for listening, and comment, subscribe, and like.